Hi, today we're going to talk about something that is very important to everyone going to visit Walt Disney World, and that is transportation. How do you get around such a massive resort with ease? All of the tips and all of the information you need to be able to navigate all things Disney transportation are coming up now. All right, Disney transportation is so important when you're traveling to this massive resort. Keep in mind, Walt Disney World is about the size of San Francisco as a city. That means it's about 40 square miles, 25,000 acres. This is a massive property to get around, whether you're going between different resorts, you're visiting one of the 4 parks, the water parks, or Disney Springs. And you're gonna wanna know your transportation options so that you can get around with ease. All right, what is the one transportation option, the mode of transportation you're gonna find the most across Walt Disney World Resort? It is the bus system, the Disney buses, or as my son likes to call them, the Mickey buses. They're often wrapped with photos of different Disney characters or movies, and they're really fun, but you see them running constantly between all of these different locations around Walt Disney World Resort. So if you are staying, for example, in one of the all-star resorts, you will only have access to buses to get you to and from your parks. Buses run all day long. They're gonna be running late, especially on those nights that you have special events, thinking about like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. The buses are gonna run as long as the parks are open, and they're also gonna be running before the parks open to get you where you wanna be as early as possible for those rope drop mornings. It is a great way to get around. It's also very accessible friendly. They do have new buses they've actually been rolling out over the last couple of years as well that have more room for ECVs and strollers and people with different needs to be able to get on those buses and get where they wanna go. Now, as you work your way up from some of the value resorts, you're also going to have some different properties that will offer additional modes of transportation to get you around with ease that are not the bus. Now, starting with those value resorts, you're going to have the all-star resorts, which are all going to require buses to all of the parks. There are no other ways to get out of the value resorts except for driving. Maybe you have a rental car, you want to use a minivan service for an extra fee, but for complimentary on-site options, you will have the bus. Now, in that value category, there are 2 resorts that are still considered value resorts. You will see they have a slightly higher price point than the All-Stars, and this is the reason. They're also located on the Disney Skyliner. Now, the Disney Skyliner is an amazing gondola system that runs up through the sky, and it will take you between a few different resorts and also directly to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So if you want to get to some of those parks and you don't want to take the bus and you're staying in kind of that value category, you're going to want Art of Animation Resort or Pop Century. These 2 are going to be located directly on the Skyliner. Keep in mind, there can be lines sometimes in the morning get on the Skyliner, but they move very quickly. Again, it's a system that is running constantly. Caribbean Beach Resort is going to be the one resort in the moderate category located on the Skyliner. So if you are a Skyliner fan, Caribbean Beach Resort is a great option for you. This is a very large resort with lots of walking, like many of the other moderate resorts that we'll talk about here in a minute, but it is located directly on the Skyliner next to the Riviera Resort, which is another popular destination for things like early breakfast at Topolino's Terrace. All right, so in that moderate category, we talked about the Skyliner, we talked about the different resorts that are there. The other moderate resorts are going to have some slightly different options for getting around. They will all use the buses in some capacity, but a couple of them do have a very nice boat ride that will take you to Disney Springs. Those are going to be the Port Orleans resorts. There are 2 resorts there, Port Orleans French Quarter and Port Orleans Riverside. If you want to check out more about the Riverside Resort, I have a recent video that I just did talking all about what you can expect staying at Port Orleans Riverside, but these 2 are located on the Sassagoula River. Now, the last moderate resort that we'll talk about in this group is going to be Coronado Springs Resort. Coronado Springs is actually closer to the Animal Kingdom area in the general Walt Disney World property, and it is a massive resort that is also known as a convention center. So there are a lot of times where you'll see people there for conventions like some of the other resorts that we have. All right, let's go into our deluxe category. This is where things get a little bit more interesting. Part of what makes some of these deluxe resorts deluxe is the fact that most of them are going to have a variety of options for transportation to and from the parks outside of just the buses. Now, there are a couple resorts in the deluxe category that do not have any other transportation outside of the buses, but they do have some amazing other perks, which is why people love to stay there. So Animal Kingdom Lodge is a great, peaceful resort located closest to Animal Kingdom Park, and it will rely on the bus system to get you pretty much everywhere else. Now, some other resorts that we can talk about too that include some boat options in the deluxe category. I mentioned the Port Orleans resorts being on Sassagoula River. There are 2 DVC Deluxe resorts that are also located on that same river with boat rides directly to Disney Springs, and those are Old Key West Resort and Saratoga Springs resorts. Now, another deluxe resort that can be slightly lower on the overall price scale is going to be Wilderness Lodge. Now, everyone who knows me knows this is my favorite resort in all of Walt Disney World, and the reason is because of the theming and also the proximity to Magic Kingdom. Now, Wilderness Lodge is located on Bay Lake, right next to Seven Seas Lagoon, and right in that Magic Kingdom resort area. Now, the reason this is not a resort that has some of the highest price points is simply because it is not on the monorail loop. So as we talked about the Skyliner, we're now going to talk a little bit more about the monorail, which is another amazing system, fast train system that will get you to and from Magic Kingdom and Epcot with a connection. So Wilderness Lodge does not sit on the monorail, but it does have a direct boat ride to the front entrance of Magic Kingdom Park, which is one of the ways that I love to get around there. It's also a great place to go in the middle of a Magic Kingdom day to take a break from the heat and visit this incredibly iconic resort. So Wilderness Lodge, you will always have my heart, and it is a place that I definitely recommend that you check out in that deluxe category in the Magic Kingdom area. Now, on the monorail, you're going to find some of the biggest, heaviest hitters in terms of deluxe resorts. These are places everyone talks about. You know them. You want to stay there. You've stayed there and fallen in love with them. Number one is going to be the original resort on property, and that is Contemporary Resort. You know this one because it has the monorail running right through it. It is known for Chef Mickey's. It has that iconic 1971 style that at the time was very futuristic and contemporary and has gone through some renovations in recent years to continue to keep it a little more updated as time continues to go by. But the Contemporary Resort is on the monorail loop. It is also a 5 to 7 minute walk directly to Magic Kingdom, and it has its own private security entrance to get into that park, making it a very easy place to get in and out when you are going to Magic Kingdom for your stay. Now, going around the monorail, you're also going to have the Polynesian Resort. It is located directly across Seven Seas Lagoon from Magic Kingdom, and it has beautiful castle views, and you can also watch the fireworks very easily from the beaches there. Now, the last stop is the one that everyone knows from Full House in the early 90s, and that is the Grand Floridian with the red roof tiles. This beautiful resort is directly next to Magic Kingdom, and it is a short, maybe 10 to 12 minute walk to the front gates of that park. It is truly luxurious. It is known for having beautiful displays all throughout the year, from Easter eggs to the gingerbread house that everyone loves. And it is a beautifully iconic piece of Disney history at Walt Disney World. Now, I mentioned these three resorts being on the monorail, not only can they get you to Magic Kingdom easily, they will stop at the Transportation and Ticket Center, which is where parking will be found from Magic Kingdom Park. And there you can transfer directly to a rail that will take you to Epcot. So for all of the different resorts that we mentioned, those monorail loop resorts are going to get you really easy access to two parks directly off the monorail. Keeping in mind the Skyliner gives you access to two parks as well, Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So you've got a few different options for getting around from different parks. And again, of course, you can always rely on those amazing Disney buses to get you where you want to go. The last thing I want to talk about are a variety of boats. We mentioned the boats along the Sassagoula River to getting you to Disney Springs, but there are boats to be found all around Walt Disney World. Thinking about the Epcot area resorts, you've got the Boardwalk, the Beach Club, the Yacht Club. Those are all walkable to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, but they also have amazing boats that can take you between those destinations. Now, with so many hotels all across Walt Disney World Resort to explore and to consider for your next stay, it's easy to get overwhelmed, and there's a lot of details to figure out. And so that's what we are here for. At Wand and Compass Travel, we are travel specialists specializing in Disney travel and travel really anywhere you want to go. But one of the things that we all love to do is just to help our families and our guests and our clients discover the right resort and hotel option for their stay. So if you're someone who loves the Skyliner and that's where you want to be, we've got some great options for you. And again, if you don't even know where to start, you'd like some advice, you'd like some recommendations, take advantage of these free travel concierge services that we provide to all of our clients with recommendations, guides, and all the things that you'll need to know to make your trip even more magical. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure you drop in the comments your favorite Disney resort that you've ever stayed in, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks.